Hello. So, from last week, we had a couple books or folk tales, folklore that I wished I had been able to record. I'm doing it today. So, if you are behind, you will get grace in completing those annotated bibliographies. But also, our next assignment, you may need these, access to these. So, if you watched the recording, you will know that I have tried to purchase some books that are authentic to, in terms of the authors being Native American, for the folklore, and that we were discussing whether a British author who published retellings, if we have a limited budget, should we be buying those, and how. And what we'll be working on today is talking about comparing the retellings from different cultures. But an option I'm going to give is to say, okay, take the Native American folklore and take the folklore I provided from the British retelling and compare those, even though they're not the exact same tale. All right, so this is The Brave Wolf and the Thunderbird, and we did read it in class, but I do think sometimes it's really hard to we're usually far away from the camera. So this is a story by Joe Medicine Crow, and the illustrations are by Linda R. Martin. It's one I bought several, maybe 2 or 3 of these from the National Museum of the American Indian, Smithsonian Institution. They seemed really authentic, and so I was hoping that they would be perhaps a better cultural representation than perhaps the British ones. So one day, a man named Brave Wolf went hunting in the hills. He did not return for several weeks, and when he came back to camp, he told his family and friends what had happened to him while he was gone. While he was hunting, a huge thunderbird flew over and snatched him up in her giant claws. She took him to a high cliff overlooking a lake up in the mountains. There, on the cliff, was a nest with 2 chicks just beginning to get big. The mother thunderbird said to Brave Wolf, "I have brought you up here for a purpose. In the spring, when my young ones are just about so big, a monster comes out of the water in the lake down there and climbs up this cliff to eat my little ones. It's been doing that for quite a while. I've tried everything to stop that monster. I've hit it with my lightning, but I can't stop it now. So now I have brought you, a human being, to come help me." "All right," said Brave Wolf. "Let me think about it and see what I can do." After Brave Wolf thought for a while, he said to the Thunderbird, "Go out and get me some dry logs. I want to build a fire." The Thunderbird took off, and pretty soon she came back with a dried log and some branches and stacked them in a pile. "Now," he said, "I'll need some nice round rocks." So the Thunderbird went off and brought some back, and soon Brave Wolf had a big pile of rocks. "Next," Brave Wolf said, "I will need you to kill a large buffalo and bring it here." The Thunderbird did. As he asked, Brave Wolf skinned the buffalo, and from the hide he made a basket that would hold water. The Thunderbird used the rest of the buffalo to feed her chicks. "All right," Brave Wolf said, "I'll need water. Let me know when you think the monster's going to rise out of the lake. That's when I'll need the water." After a while, the Thunderbird noticed the waves were building on the lake, and she told Brave Wolf, "The monster's coming up in about a day." Then the Thunderbird caused a quick little rain shower that filled Brave Wolf's basket with water. Brave Wolf built a fire near the edge of the cliff and just where the monster would come up, and he heated the rocks in the fire. The monster was a great big snake. Yuck. Something like a dragon. It started rising up out of the lake, and the waves got higher and higher. When the monster started climbing the cliff, the Thunderbird flew down, struck it with lightning, but she couldn't stop it. It kept coming up slowly, 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 getting pretty close to the top. And when it got to the top, the monster opened its mouth. Brave Wolf was ready. He had made a couple of big forks out of tree limbs so he could push the burning rocks into the monster's mouth. He kept throwing in those red-hot rocks, and when the monster had swallowed them all, Brave Wolf poured the water from his basket into its mouth. Steam shot up and made all kinds of hissing noises. The monster started wobbling around, groaning, and finally it fell back into the lake with a big splash. And that was the end of the monster. The Thunderbird invited all the birds of the country to come have a big feast, and they came and ate the monster all up. And then the Thunderbird carried Brave Wolf home. And there's a nice map here too that I really like for children to see of Wyoming, Montana, the Rocky Mountains, etc. I'm not sure how accurate it is now. This is an old retelling. So the other part that's nice about the Smithsonian book is that it does have like who are the Thunderbird, some glossary of the crow words, and some of the symbolic representations and what they mean. So it says that the Thunderbird, many Native Americans tell cultures of supernatural creatures. Birds with black feathers, giant wingspans, and two sharp claws are found in crow and Blackfoot lore. So we do know this is folklore. Crow legends tell of Suadaje, I don't know how to say that. The Thunderbird, a creature so strong it could carry off huge animals in its talons. In the Crow language, Sua, S-U-A, means thunder, and D-A-G-A-G-A-Y means bird. Duagage, I think that's right. Crow people regard the Thunderbird as the most powerful of all spirits. The crows say that lightning bolts shoot from the eyes of the Thunderbird, and that when the Thunderbird flaps its wings and blinks its eyes, storms rage and rain pours down. Severe damage is sometimes caused by lightning from young mischief making. Thunderbirds, but old Thunderbirds, are wise and never kill anybody. They protect the people who believe in them, offering brotherhood, peace, plenty, and goodwill. Peoples of the Great Plains call thunder beings Waikinyan, sacred flying ones, the Hedai, Tlingit, and I'm butchering the pronunciations of these, Quiyu of the northwest coast have legends of a whale-eating thunderbird. They say that long ago, when a period of harsh weather killed the edible plants and prevented the men from fishing, the Great Spirit saved the people by sending Thunderbird, in whose great claws dangled a giant living whale. With wings twice as long as a war canoe, carefully lowered the whale to the people, thus sparing them from starvation. And then there's also some more interesting photographs with descriptions under them. It talks about the Crow people and some of the different items that they used that are native to them. I think there's a lot of authentic information that people could learn about. This was published in 1998 by the Abbeville Press. And again, the title is The Brave Wolf and the Thunder Crowd, with Joe Medicine Crow being the author. So the Crow, his tribe is part of his last name. Okay, so that's one of the folklore that we shared in class, I think last week. We might have shared it the last 2 weeks. It depends on, we've been sharing them a couple weeks now. Thank you.